Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Marissa Explains It All. You guys, it is hot outside. It is the heat of summer. Everything is so hot and humid. Like, look at this. My hair is just like, no, we're not doing anything but curls and frizz. That's all we're doing today. So I kind of let it go and be natural. It is what it is. But anyways, so I've got my iced coffee here, or whatever it is you can call this, because it's so light that it probably doesn't qualify as coffee anymore. However, it's how I drink my coffee. Today I am wanting to test out a full face of waterproof makeup. So a lot of people, when they go to the beach, the lake, the pool to cool off, like, they don't need to wear makeup, you know, they look naturally beautiful and whatnot. We hate them, it's fine. But for some of us, like myself, who like to wear makeup and actually don't want to go barefaced to the beach, or want like a little something on, or just, I don't know, just want to look a little nice. Or maybe you're going to like a bougie waterside event where you know you might get wet, like a little bougie pool party, but people are going to be kind of dressed up. You're wearing like really nice, you know, fancy cover-ups and, you know, nice bathing suits and stuff. But I know my face may get wet. What do you do? So I figured I'm going to test out this full face of makeup. Most of it's cream makeup, because my thinking is that, you know, cream makeup will kind of repel the water a little bit better. So I'm going to test that out and see how it works. And so I'm going to put on a full face today, and then I am going to dunk my face into some water, like a bowl of water, and see what comes off, what stays, and what is pool ready. So if that sounds interesting to you, hang out and feel free to subscribe to the channel. I'll be right back. So first things first, let's get this hair out of the way with my usual favorite, my little cat ears. Hello. They're so cute. I love it. I actually have a little white kitty, so I like the white one that I have. It's so cute. Anyways, let's start with our foundation. So I am trying to use a cream, like I said, cream products. I'm actually just going to kind of tie the rest back here so it doesn't get in my way. Curls are just, they do what they're going to do. So I'm going to start with a cream foundation for the base, and like I mentioned before, I bet you could also use my Estee Lauder's Double Wear, because I feel like I've used that before and gone swimming in the pool, and it actually did really well. So, but I only have my winter shade in that foundation right now, and it's going to be like way too light. I know, way too light for this. Sad. Anyway, so I've been using the Juice Beauty. It's a nice organic brand. I did a little review on it. The Phyto Pigments Youth Cream Compact Foundation, and so it looks like this. Always hard to get the right lighting and the focus here, but that's what the Juice Beauty Cream Foundation looks like. You don't have to use this one. Of course, you can use any other cream foundation, so I'm just going to kind of pump some out here and start applying, but just kind of some dots all over my face to get it even. And then we will blend it out with a beauty blender. But you can use any cream foundation, really. I mean, Cover FX makes one. I know Hourglass makes one. Anything that kind of comes in like a stick form, or, you know, just a cream formula. This one it looks more like a liquid, but it is very thick, and you don't really need like a whole lot. And my goal for today is not really to like slather the makeup on. I just kind of want like a lighter, you know, touch of something that isn't really gonna go anywhere. So I kind of wanted to look more natural, which is why I chose this one as opposed to the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I'm just going back in now for a couple of my little spots here. My spots have all come back, but that's okay. My skin was doing so good. Okay, so foundation is on, and it does look still pretty natural. I mean, you can kind of still see some imperfections through there, but it evened out the skin tone and everything, and it is a little bit of a dewier finish, so I do tend to put like some powder on over top of it. Now, I think the powder probably will help when you're out of the pool, like, you know, when it's dry, but when you get your face wet, I imagine it would disappear, so I'm curious to see how that does. But for now, let's go in with my favorite concealer, the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I've showed this a few times before. It's like one of my favorites. This camera always wants to focus on my face and not the product. But yeah, this one is a good concealer. It has some good staying power. I've been usually going in with just a few dots and not like swiping like this all under there, just because when you start to age a little bit, yay, you have those little, you know, fine lines and things that concealer can settle into. And so I've been trying to kind of use less concealer generally, but this is such a light cream foundation. It's kind of not full coverage, so I kind of want to give it a little help and help cover up some of the dark circles and things. So I went in a little heavier than I normally would with the concealer. And with your concealer, just make sure you're blending it out. Sometimes in the past I could get away with just kind of doing like a quick dab, but really trying to press the product into those little fine lines and working around them, blotting up the excess with your beauty blender will help not settle into the creases as much. I am going to do some powder. Like I said, I feel like this is going to disappear when we do our little test, our water test, but anyway, I'm just tapping out some Hourglass Veiled Translucent Setting Powder into the cap. This is how I do it. like falls like little snow. I just kind of tap it out into the little lid here, and then I'll dip my brush in. I'm using a Sephora brush here. This is just the Pro Featherweight number 90, and it's like a tapered kind of brush, but it is very like kind of packed and dense. It's nice for getting the product on. Of course, you tap off the excess, and it's good for just pressing it right into that area that you need, versus like a fluffier brush would just like collapse. Like if I was to use like this really like long bendy fluffy brush, that would just go poof, it wouldn't really work very well. So I like this one. It's very stiff because I can press and it's not, you know, gonna collapse like you just saw. It has some bend to it, but generally it's pretty stiff. So I like it because it offers some nice little resistance for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and just set the under eye area and maybe just the nose and anywhere that I'm not going to bronze, because I'm going to use a cream bronzer and I don't want to lay a cream product over a powder product. So usually I like to keep all my creams first and then you set with powder over top. So I'm not going to be bronzing in the middle of my forehead, so I'm going to do that because I want to get rid of some of the shininess. I'm not going to bronze in the middle of my face here, so I'll just do the center of the face with powder, and then the sides we'll do with the cream bronzer. So now it's time for bronzer, and I am using the Tarte cream bronzer. It's called the Tarte, I think it's Sea Breezy, it just says Breezy, but I feel like it was called the Sea Breezy cream bronzer in the shade Seychelles. So it is it looks dark in the pan, but when you actually get it on, it's not as dark, because for people who are lighter, we need lighter bronzers too, and so I found that this was a nice shade for me. I've used so many bronzers where like I'll use like the lightest touch and it's like streak of brown, and I'm like, okay, well this doesn't look natural at all. So this works for pale mamas like me. So I just use my beauty blender and I dip into the cream product and just kind of tap a couple times, or you might need to drag a little bit just to get a little product on there. And then I do, of course, just go where I normally would bronze. And so I go right in the cheek area and the hollow of the cheek, somewhere that you want to carve out like a nice little cheekbone and contour a little bit. And then I bring it up to the sides of the face. You know, if you have like a big forehead, generally you would want to contour the sides of your forehead. And anywhere that you would like to erase like some nice like full cheeks or fat on your face, that's myself actually. I would want to go ahead and just kind of carve some of that out, give it some shadow, some dimension. I feel like it looks a little bit darker on camera than it does maybe even in person, so it looks a little bit even more natural in person, but yeah, just the way it's showing up on camera. Now that I've got a little bit of bronze glow on, I'm going to go on to blush, and today I'm using a cream blush. Glossier makes a Cloud Paint cream blush. Sorry, cannot think of it, but I don't have that one. I was trying to go for maybe a little more affordable one just to see. I was trying to go for a dupe actually. So the Glossier Cloud Paint is $18, but I found this brand called Dollface at my local Rite Aid pharmacy. And so it is a nice little drugstore brand, and it's called Pillow Perfect Gel Cushion Blush. It's just a gel or liquid blush or whatever in the shade Nudie, and it's like a nice little nude shade. And so I'm just gonna tap that on to the apples of the cheeks just to give it like a little color. It looks like this on my finger, so it looks a little bit kind of, you know, like a peachy kind of color, but I just tap that on to the apples of the cheek a little bit just to give it a nice little healthy natural blush. You kind of tap it on and just make sure it's blended. I usually don't like to rub a lot in, I just kind of tap it in. Yeah, I suppose you could rub it in, but I would be afraid of maybe displacing some of your foundation. Alright, so that's got like a little bit of color to the cheeks, but still doesn't look like overly done, and it probably looks a little bit funny right now just because I've been bringing color to my face just by tapping on it. So next up is highlight, and so I have found that most highlighters are like powder based, and I'd be afraid they might disappear, but they do make a couple cream based ones. But the one I'm using today is by Winky Lux, and it is called the Strobing Balm in Radiant Pink, the shade Radiant Pink, and this is what it looks like. It's got like a nice little gold foil there on the top. And so I'm gonna use that, and it's just like a nice little champagne color. It is a cream formula, obviously. My fingers have been in it, but it's pretty. It's got like a nice little, you know, color to it. And I don't know, you can kind of see, yeah, it's like a little radiance to it. I mean, it says radiant in the name, so, but it is a cream formula, so I'm gonna use that here just on the tops, and I do, again, kind of just tap this in a little bit, just to kind of bring a little, like, kiss to the cheeks, and we'll see if that stays in the water. If you go a little overboard and it's a little too shiny, just kind of, you know, tap it away, blend it out. Next would be brows. And so I am going to do a brow pencil. I feel like this is gonna stay pretty well. I mean, I'm not like in there scrubbing my brows in the pool. So this is by Benefit, and it's called the Precisely My Brow Pencil. Just gonna kind of use one end to comb the brows up into like a natural kind of a shape. And I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. I did some dermaplaning the other day because, you know, I shave my face now, and I got a little too close to the eyebrows. So you probably can't tell too much, but this one's a little funky because I was getting a little too close and I shaved off a little section. Yikes. So we have a brow pencil. It's cool. And of course my goal with brows is, especially for the pool or the beach or whatever, is not to be overly done. It's just to kind of fill in any missing spots and make the shape look nice. So keep it pretty natural. All right, next up is eyeshadow. And so you could go with like a bright color here, but I'm kind of wanting to keep it natural because I don't know what's gonna happen when I put my face in the water. Like, I don't know if the colors are gonna run or what. So I kind of want to keep it really natural and kind of fresh and beachy. Like, I don't really want it to be super overdone, but in theory you could, you know, and see if it stays. But I am using a product called, from NYX, called Proof It. Ooh, I dropped it. And it is a waterproof eyeshadow primer. And it looks like this. Super interesting that they make this product that you can use waterproof, you know, eye primer. And it looks like a, you know, I don't know, just regular eye primer. It looks like a natural little shade. And so I put this on and kind of pat that in and let it dry. I think the instructions say to kind of let it dry first before you go putting your shadow on. So it needs to kind of set a little bit. This may be a job for the cat. All right, so it is pretty dry. It may be slightly tacky, but I think it's good enough to go with the eyeshadow. So I wanted to try this out with normal, regular, everyday eyeshadow and just use this waterproof base just to see if it works. You could always go with a cream, you know, eyeshadow. I know Nude Sticks make some, and you know, you can kind of find them here and there, but they're not really widespread to me. They're kind of hard to find when you look for like cream, you know, products, and they don't always come in every shade. So I figured I would try to use this primer with my everyday Jaclyn Hill palette. It's so dirty. All the fingerprints. So I am going to use this one. It is probably my favorite palette. Just all these shades are awesome. And you could go more adventurous, like I said, if you wanted to, but I'm just not going to go adventurous today. So I think today I'm going to try a brush that's new to me. Y'all know, if you know my channel, I have my favorite brush from Ulta, and it is this little fluffy blending brush that has the number worn off, but it's my favorite. But I got a new brush in my little subscription kit from Ipsy, and it's by the brand called Farah, F-A-R-A-H, and it is a blender brush 25EL, and it looks pretty similar. I don't know. I kind of like it. It's a little smaller. I mean, my Ulta brush has gotten a lot of wear out of it. So anyways, ooh, dropped it again. And I'm just going to kind of dip into some of the neutral shades. I'm going to go with these champagne-y colors first, and then I'm going to go with one of these two little kind of nude colors, and then maybe another little deeper shade. I don't know, maybe one of these little deeper shades just for a little shadow. But first I'm just gonna kind of go with the natural colors. And we go into the corners of the eyes to brighten them, and to the brow bone just to give it some kind of pop. And highlight, really just kind of want to look like dewy and glowy and highlighty. I always do more of a wing on this side than I do on this side. I don't know why. This side always looks more natural and this side always looks more glam. I can't even. Now that liner's on and it's a little bit, you know, helps kind of bolden the eye look a little bit, time for mascara. And this is a little bit easier because a lot of people make waterproof mascara. This is an easy thing to find, whereas I feel like a waterproof liner or like waterproof, I don't know, other products are a little difficult. So I am going to use the Too Faced Better Than Sex waterproof mascara, and it comes in the blue container here. I'm just using a little mini one because I don't need waterproof mascara that often, so I buy the little tiny ones when I need to, you know, try a product that I'm not going to use very much. All right, that is lashes on, and of course I don't have very long or thick lashes, so they don't show up as well on camera as I would hope, but you know, I'm not going to wear fake lashes to the pool, so that is what it is. So now it is on to the last step, which is lips. And I feel like this is another easy one because they make a lot of color stay, you know, liquid lipsticks. You know, you could always just go with like a natural lipstick here. You could just do like lip gloss or a lipstick and just kind of reapply when you get out of the pool. But I want to test out, you know, a true color stay waterproof type look. So I'm using the Stila Stay All Day liquid lipstick in the shade Perla. And I do love Stila. She's one of my favorite brands here. So this is what the liquid lip looks like, and I will go ahead and put this on. It's kind of like a nude pink kind of shade. It's a little probably light for my skin tone, to be honest with you, but you know, I bought it, I'm gonna use it. Obviously, get whatever, you know, color you want. You could go bright here. This is where you could make your pop of color, like a really nice, I don't know, like a coral color would be really pretty, or peach, or like, you know, even red for the beach, but I just like a bold look. So, but I'm gonna go with just neutral for today. So I'm gonna let this dry down, and I'm not using a setting spray because, I mean, it kind of wets everything down and makes it, you know, kind of look a little dewier, which I don't really need. And I don't think it would work because it's just a liquid that I'm gonna be putting my face in water. So I don't know, I think a setting spray works really well for soaking up some of the excess powder. If you've used a lot of powder on your face, it helps you make it look more dewy and natural and fresh, and kind of helps wet it a little bit. You know, the Urban Decay All Nighter is a good choice for, you know, for just generally, that's one of my favorites. But I just feel like for this purpose, I don't need a setting spray when I'm just gonna dip my face in water. So I'm gonna let this set for a minute, and then I will be back for the water test. All right, so now is the moment of truth. I put my hair all the way up. I have got in front of me a bowl of water, and I've got my nice little white cloth so you can see like what comes off. Y'all, why did I think it was a good idea to put my face in water on camera? All right, let's get a shot of this bowl action. All right, this is it. I'm gonna put my face in the water and pretend like I'm swimming, and then we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what comes off. I might do it a couple different times because you're in the pool, you know, swimming a lot, and so, all right, let's see. I feel like this, why did I decide to do this? Okay. That is not as warm as I thought it was. Whew. All right, there's dunk number one. Okay, I'm swimming at the beach, y'all. Swimming at the pool. I feel like water's up my nose. Okay, I don't feel like there's any water like or makeup in the bowl. Like I don't feel like there might be like a little oily film on top, but let's readjust and see what's happening. Okay, so let me go ahead and zoom in. My face is certainly wet. It definitely got all over. Like I said, I don't feel like there's anything really in the bowl. Like I felt like there was gonna be like this cloud. There's like a little bit of an oily film on top, but not too bad. Now, the real moment of truth will be like when I go to like wipe stuff off. I mean, I guess when you get out of the pool, you could just let your face air dry and like don't touch it, but I want to see what comes off if I was to use my towel to kind of dry. So I'm gonna set my pool aside and see what happens if I just kind of like gently blot. So if I was to gently blot, actually it's not too bad. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. So a tiny bit of, white always is hard on camera, tiny bit of makeup, tiny bit of tan, but honestly, not as much as I thought there would be. So right away, I'm noticing that some of the foundation did lift. So you can see like my little spots are coming back through. And so it looks like this is, you know, a lighter foundation that kind of just, you know, didn't really hold up too well to the blotting part. Didn't seem to happen really until I kind of blotted and wiped it away. So maybe the Estee Lauder Double Wear is the way to go just because of its staying power. I think it, even though it is a little bit heavier, is slightly more cakier, it does actually stay, I think, a little bit better than this, but overall not too bad. Yeah, so that didn't do as, you know, as well as I'd hoped, but my eyeshadow is still intact. In fact, if I was to kind of, you know, rub it here, it still looks good. Like it still looks like, you know, it is still in place, still there. You can still see like you know, the shininess in the brow bone. The mascara, of course, didn't go anywhere. I'm just, you know, playing with my mascara here, wiping it on a towel, and there's nothing there. I mean, like, you can, you know, kind of rub it a little bit and there's nothing. So the mascara stayed, and actually the liner did pretty well too. I mean, just like rubbing it a little bit, I mean, I think it will probably start to, you know, rub away if you physically rub it too much. But honestly, if you just were to like quickly wipe your face or like really just dab and be delicate around the eyes, I think the liner could actually end up staying. So final thoughts on this look. I think that the foundation held up the worst. I think that the mascara and eyeshadow and lipstick held up the best. I still see a little bit of like a highlight, so I think the highlight did pretty well. It's hard to judge the blush because the blush was a little bit more natural anyway and not very prominent. I feel like the even the contour is really still kind of there. I can kind of see some bronzing. I think the contour held up, you know, medium well. But yeah, I think that the thing I would probably swap out if I was going to the beach would probably be the foundation. I'd probably go back to the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I think that might give me a little bit more of the results I'm looking for. But overall, it really did pretty well. I'm impressed with the mascara. I'm impressed with the eyeliner and the NYX Proof It waterproof primer. I think that did really well. So, all right, the things I do for beauty. I tell you what, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have a good time out there this summer. Be safe and enjoy the pool and the beach and wherever, the lake, wherever you happen to be. So I will see you guys again very soon. Bye.